Hello everyone, Laura Talks is here again, and every Friday I will be looking at various topics which are related to children with special educational needs. So today's topic is how to choose a secondary school for my child. If your child has severe disability or special needs, usually primary school SENCO would direct you what special school your child should go, and everything will be smooth and easy. Now, if child is undiagnosed and he hasn't got yet a diagnosis what special needs has got, or if your child just has learning difficulty but is okay day-to-day life, or maybe they are border autistic, but there is a diagnosis there, but there was no support provided in the school. That is a harder task for the parent. So my suggestion would be get to the different names of schools in your catchment area, and first of all check if they have a strong SENCO department, because that's really, really important. If they have a strong SENCO department, your child will be getting different support what is needed. Because secondary schools are very different compared to primary schools. In primary schools, the SEN children will get more care and they will be more looked after. And in a secondary school, they kind of chunked into the big, massive place, and there is a lot of things happening, and your children will be in a very vulnerable position. So then you will check, or if that school has a good SEN department, I would advise as well to have a meeting with the SENCO and just ask which schools have a better department, what would they recommend as well. Just have a deep conversation with them. If this primary school is not very helpful, just go into Google, dive in and research every school. I also suggest you to go to every parent's, when you have those visiting open days, go to those days before you apply, because they will give you a good idea. And I advise you to take your child if you can. If your child has anxiety and a lot of other mental issues, which they won't be able to cope with this situation, then yes, maybe it's better to leave them at home, but then go to that meeting and look around the school. Look at this, talk to the students and what kind of impression you get. Are these students caring? What kind of echoes the school has? Do they promote equality and things? Because they would say they promote, but what can you see and what do you get? Then you go there. Do you feel welcome? Do you feel warm? Do you feel invited? Try and talk to different teachers and ask about the SENCO departments and things like that. So visit as many schools as you can within your catchment area. Also, if you got about 4 or 3 schools which you really, really like, try and contact the school itself. Try and get in touch with the SENCO and ask for individual meeting that you could bring your child in. Ask for that meeting, or ask primary school to organize those things. And you say, I really particularly like this school. I know you recommended that, but I went there and I liked it. And I would want that meeting where my child could go in there, walk around, familiarize, and see how we feel about it. And then you walk and you have that individual meeting. You can get more out of it. And you can talk to the SENCO and say, what programs are there? Will there be any support for your child? If your child hasn't got diagnosis, will they be willing to go that route and help you with it? What could they advise? Because your child needs to get as much support as they can, because when they will go into that teenage years, that's going to be very hard and tricky. So you want that nurture, care and pastoral care around your child, that they will feel comfortable. And then you will have those individual meetings. You sit down with your child, with the primary school SENCO, and make a decision which schools you're going to apply to. Certain schools will have SEN units where they would teach them in a little unit, and slowly will they allow them to go into the joint classes where the children feel comfortable. So it's really important to check those little things as well. And if your child is really scared to go to school, try to see if the school is going to work with you and find the middle ground. Might be the child could go half of a day and then extended periods afterwards. Because going into a completely different environment could be very daunting for some children. And if they are really vulnerable and there is a lot of emotional issues in there, that you need a slower process. Some schools are really strict with uniform policies and they don't have no lenience at all. Some autistic children, they can't deal with certain clothing, like they can't wear a tie or they can have a jacket because they are super hypersensitive. So you need to talk to the school if they're going to be lenient about it, if they won't pressurize a child and give that space to them to go in a different clothing, and maybe slowly they're going to get used to uniform. So those little things make a big difference for the children. And sometimes then the school is not flexible, like small things like uniform, or small things like I'm having a panic attack and I come out in a corridor, and if they say no, your child then can refuse to go to school, and then there is going to be much harder for them to get used to because they won't feel supported. So I think those little suggestions, I would say take that into consideration before applying and filling the forms, and always talk with as many extended support as you can to get the broader understanding about the school. And hope those ideas will be useful for you applying for the secondary school. And good luck. See you next time.